Hey everybody, welcome back to another video, and today we are discussing something I've wanted to talk about for a while. And guys, it's finally time. Mortal Kombat 11 is going to get revealed at Combo Breaker. It is definite. Well, it's not 100%, of course, but it is super likely that it will be announced at Combo Breaker, which is this weekend in Chicago. To commemorate this, I want to talk about pretty much two ideas that I have for what Mortal Kombat 11 might be. I'm talking about the core concept of the game, some special things about this game, kind of just some predictions I have. Now, this first prediction I have, I think it's totally not happening. I've done a lot of thinking about it, and I don't think that this is going to happen. Because when I think about the Mortal Kombat community, I think about people who love the characters, people who are invested in the core story of the characters, who like new characters in, the realm, the nether realm. Now, I don't know a ton about Mortal Kombat myself. I am very much new to this whole thing, so I can only make predictions basically as an outsider, but I'm gonna go ahead and get right into it. So this first thing is, I've seen it all over the place. As when Mortal Kombat X started having all these horror film guest DLC characters, people started thinking, why don't they just make a horror-based, game? A horror-based fighting game. Wouldn't that be awesome? And it would, but it also wouldn't, because, no, it would be cool, but I don't think that could ever happen. Reason being is that a lot of these characters are not actually owned by Warner Brothers. A lot of these characters, Alien is 20th Century Fox. I don't even know what Predator is. I think Predator is also 20th Century Fox. And then WB owns a lot of horror characters, such as Pennywise, and Michael Myers. They own Michael Myers. They own Jason Voorhees, I believe. And I also think, don't quote me on this, I think they own Freddy Krueger as well. But don't quote me on that. I don't think they own Leatherface. I think that is owned by a different company. So basically what I'm trying to say is, you can't have a horror fighting game based on characters that WB does not own. Well, maybe they could for one game, but that's it, for one game. So that's the problem with a horror-based fighting game. Okay, so how do you get around that? Here's my prediction. I don't think this anymore, but there was a time when I thought Mortal Kombat 11 could be specifically Mortal Kombat versus slashers. Now, something kind of cool that I thought of, and I thought this was clever, but I guess no one else does. So 11 is, in Roman numerals, it's XI. And I thought, take that I after X, slant it, turn it into a slash, and you have Mortal Kombat cross slash. Mortal Kombat crossover with slashers. I thought that was clever, but I guess no one else thinks that's clever, so whatever. I thought it was cool, but whatever. But yeah, so I guess tell me in the comments, what do you think about Mortal Kombat cross slashers? The game would be called Mortal Kombat Slashers, essentially. And what I would want is, I would want the game to be half Mortal Kombat characters, half movie monsters, horror characters, slashers, villains, villains from comic books, violent characters. Violent characters. Pennywise from It, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, and Freddy Krueger could definitely come back. I even said Killer Croc. I think Killer Croc, he's perfect for this damn game. A lot of people don't think so because, they say the whole, DC would never let that happen. Killer Croc rips people and eats them. He rips them apart and eats them. He hunts people down and he eats them. Killer is in his name. So anyway, that's my small tangent about Killer Croc. I think Killer Croc is going to be in this game as DLC. Quote me on it. He might not be, but I think he is. I think he will be in this game as DC Comics' one character that gets to cross over into Mortal Kombat. So moving on from Killer Croc and that whole thing. Okay, so that pretty much rounds it up. My prediction as a possibility, which I don't think is going to happen anymore. Just because I've asked a couple of people, and Ed Boon on Twitter once sort of commented on the idea, and his tweet sounded very unenthusiastic about it. Someone tweeted at him and was like, "Oh, hey, would a fighting game with horror characters ever happen?" And then I think he responded like, "Oh yeah, we've thought about that," or I don't know, something like that. He just didn't sound very enthusiastic about it, almost as if he's tired of people talking about it. Or maybe it's all a thing to pass it off as it's not happening, and then he reveals that it's happening. But in a way, I don't think the main Mortal Kombat community would be very happy about that. I think they just want Mortal Kombat characters, a Mortal Kombat story. Obviously, if this game was centered around slashers, they would have to play a large role in the story, and I don't know if Mortal Kombat people would like that. I think they want a continuation of the Mortal Kombat 9 and X story that doesn't get infiltrated by all of these non-Mortal Kombat characters. So, I don't know. Or maybe you could have the story be non-guest character story, and then the game features a mode where something crazy happens with all of these slasher characters. Some awesome new mode called whatever. Slasher. MK versus Slasher mode. It doesn't matter. But maybe the game could be called Mortal Kombat Slashers, and the story is about something, and then the whole slasher part is another game mode. Yeah, who knows? Now, I'm going to go ahead and say, I thought that was clever a few months ago. I don't think so anymore. Reason being, now, why do I think that could happen? Well, I think Warner Brothers is in a state where they kind of desperately need to grab all of their copyrighted material and use it. They need to bring a lot of these old copyrights that they have, a lot of them they haven't used in a long time, and bring them back into the mainstream so that people get talking about them, sell more merchandise, maybe make some more films, TV shows, whatever it can be. And characters I'm referring to is, characters like Gremlins, characters, Friday the 13th, Freddy Krueger, which is a Nightmare on Elm Street. It is big right now. It has a movie, part 1, and part 2 is coming out later. So that's just me. That is just my opinion on that. From a marketing perspective, if I was working at Warner Brothers and I wanted to make sure that NetherRealm was creating a game that could help the brand of the company, I would maybe suggest, hey, why don't you include a bunch of characters that we own and put it in this game. Brand awareness. I'm gonna make a top 10. Well, maybe. I might make a top 10 about characters that I want. That most of them are owned by Warner Brothers. Some of them aren't. But, you know, whatever. Yeah, and as far as predictions go, that is like all I have. The other thing was that Mortal Kombat Timelines video, which was totally fake, but I don't know. You know, I was really thinking about it, and I thought, you know, there's a core concept with timelines that could actually work with this game. It could be that each version of a character is different based on the timeline they're from. This could kind of be different from Mortal Kombat X. It had a 3-character variation. This could be similar, but it could be you play as a different timeline version of the characters. And I guess my idea was that these 3 timeline versions would be vastly different. Like, for instance, maybe you have a version of Scorpion that comes from an ultra technologically advanced future, for example, and maybe he has tech that is like incredible. And then maybe you have like a super mystical reality where like people use magic like crazy and they have insane powers. Like, imagine if, I don't know, imagine if there's a timeline where Johnny Cage is like a wizard or something, you know, and he has all these extra insane stuff. Now, this might sound ridiculous, but I'm just saying, this gives NetherRealm a good opportunity to be really creative with their characters. You could have a version of Kung Jin who is like Green Arrow, where he like has technology like the Green Arrow, you know, where he has like multiple arrows and he has all this tech. I'm just saying, like, that would be really cool. Like, imagine if you had like 3 different realities, a highly fantasy, like a high level of fantasy in one, highly technological in another, and then maybe in an evil realm where everyone uses like dark magic or something, or if they're all demons or something. I don't know. That's just me. And what if like all of these different timelines are sort of clashing to kind of create the ultimate timeline? So yeah, that's crazy, but I think there's a lot you could do with that. And yeah. And then when you're dealing with all these timelines, throw in a couple of guest characters here and there. I mean, MK9 just threw Kratos right into the story, if I'm not mistaken. He was just there he is. Kratos in the story. And would Kratos come back? Probably. That would be... I think Kratos could definitely come back. Okay, so those are basically 2 things. One is my Mortal Kombat Slashers prediction. I don't think that's going to happen. I think maybe the DLC will feature heavily guest and horror characters. Like, for instance, I want Negan from The Walking Dead. Like, that's a character I want. For multiple reasons. I don't think there's a Mortal Kombat character that primarily uses a baseball bat. So there you go. There's a brand new character type right there. And Negan is just... he is just a good fit for this game. Ultra violent. Beats the shit out of people with his bat. Kills people regularly. And biggest reason, I think, they can do really creative things with fatalities. You know, he's also funny. Like, his intros and outros could be, like, damn hilarious. He's, like, the perfect candidate for a game like this. I would see him sort of, like, I guess sort of like a Johnny Cage type, but he's, like, even worse, man. He would be saying, fuck this and fuck that and fuck you and everything, you know? You know? So... he says fuck every, like, other word in the comics. Not in the show because they have to censor it. But here, that's what I'm saying. So maybe keep it to the DLC. You know, I expect Now, what do I actually think is going to happen? No crazy predictions, no off-the-wall conspiracies. I think we're just going to get Mortal Kombat 11, regular games, sequel to MKX, updated graphics. They're going to continue the story with, there's a dragon character. There's a character who's like a dragon, and he'll probably be the main villain, and it's going to be the same shit. It's going to be the same shit. You have the main characters, and there's all these bad guys, and they gotta fight these bad guys, take down the dragon guy, and then that's it. And then something crazy happens. Some twist. Everyone's happy. They defeat the bad guy. That's what I think is going to happen. This dragon character will probably be heavily marketed. And then you have all these good guys and whatnot, whatever. Scorpion will probably have a kid. Sub-Zero's going to have a kid. Everyone's going to have kids. Kano's going to have a kid. He already has a kid, I think. But, okay. But that's it. So I'm going to go now. So, to recap, my prediction, my off-the-wall conspiracy is Mortal Kombat slashers. Slashers will play a heavy role. Movie monsters, or comic book monsters will play a large role. On the other side of a conspiracy that I did not create, Mortal Kombat timelines. Maybe you have all these crazy timelines where everyone's so different. One's like a future one, one's like a fantasy one, and they're all clashing to be the ultimate timeline. And then on the other hand, you have what's actually going to happen, which is going to be sequel to Mortal Kombat X, updated graphics, regular story, nothing off the wall crazy, regular, playing it pretty safe. Some cool new mechanic that will make everyone go, oh my god, probably weapons based. There you go. Alright, so thank you for watching. If you want to see a top 10 video of characters I want, the thing is, I want to make that video, but I want to see what this game is first. If the game is Mortal Kombat slashers, or if it's Mortal Kombat comic book, or Mortal Kombat versus movie characters, or if it's just regular Mortal Kombat Mortal Kombat 11, I want to know first so that I can sort of adjust my expectations accordingly. But, okay, so thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Keep on fighting. Have a fantastic day.